How is all? I hope you're all keeping well. I'm still not right over what happened the other night. One of them things. I still feel slightly like I'm drunk and out of sorts, or I have a hangover. But anyway, it could have been a lot worse. I hope you're all keeping well, and I hope the weather is where you live is better than it is here. This has been the worst summer weather. Weather-wise, this has been the worst summer ever. It might as well be. It might as well be January. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. And we have a comet Neowise in the sky, and the I haven't been able to see it or anything because there's just no cloud, rain and wet and cold. And you do wonder if that comet is affecting consciousness on some level. And that's what this video is going to be about. Lying, not really doing much for the last couple of days. I've had a lot of time to think, and it's quite remarkable what's going on. I mean, it's an overused cliche that we're living in strange times. It even goes beyond that, and it has been like this for a while. It's just that the lockdown has accelerated the high strangeness of the age to where we are now, which is almost inconceivably strange. Now, it's just every single day there's something in the news that throws us further into this strange, this new normal. And they weren't joking when they were using the term the new normal. Literally what they're doing is they're reconstructing this planet and your experience as a human being, literally from the subatomic world up. And I've seen like something today, Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition now has a transgender model on it from Brazil. So it's nice to see men finally get a look into an all-female industry. But Sports Illustrated would be a magazine that aims that is for the most sort of like not conservative, the most mainstream American normie, the kind of guy who has a man cave, and he's really into sports, but he doesn't really know anything about sports. He's like, he goes into bars with his friends and sports pubs, and he pretends he knows about sports. Yankees, and he's not really. I used to see them all the time. It's more of a kind of a need to fit in than a genuine love of sports. But they have on Sports Illustrated, which is all American sports. It's a very massive magazine in the United States. They'd have a swimsuit issue every year. And the swimsuit issue would be just like girlies and stuff like that. And the models would make a lot of money. And it was like, I wouldn't even say it was wank material. It was more like, titillation for fellas who suburbia, in American mainstream suburbia. Now, the thing with this having, to put a transgender model into a magazine like that is, we're only seeing the start of it now. Eventually, we'll have male models in there next, and then you'll have two guys kissing on a beach in the swimsuit edition. This is all coming now. I'm not saying there's a gay agenda or anything like this, but this is part of they would use anything. It's literally part of the demolishing of this reality and rebuilding their new normal from the subatomic fabric up. Now, it's like Alice in Wonderland, and there's an elixir that has brought the normies through the looking glass, and it's soy. Like the soy is in everything now. And this is the gender-bending drug. People are going to laugh and saying, "Oh, like he's like Alex Jones." No, soy does affect and create trans estrogens in the body, and does cause young girls to develop much faster, and causes boys to develop much later. Their voices don't break, their pubic hair doesn't come in, and this leads to gender identification, personal issues later on in life. Now, by taking something as overtly American macho as the sports swimsuit issue, now a lot of those magazines would be subscriptions that are already paid for. They're very devious, But the kind of fellas who'd watch that would be like, that normally would be like, what the fuck, this kind of thing. But you have to remember, these are guys who drink beers like Coors Light, Miller, all these bad Budweiser, Bud Light, Miller High Life, all these shit, horrible piss beers they have in America, which are made with soy. Those mass-produced American beers, the ones that are not made in microbrews, they're made with anything they can find, rice, not anything they can. They'll get anything they can find and ferment it, and they'll use specific flavorings, and one of them is a high level of soy in those beers. So if you're drinking Budweiser, Miller Lite, Coors, you're consuming a huge amount of soy. And so these men have been they've had their testosterone levels lowered. Now that was been going on for a long time, the whole thing of lowering the testosterone level. I remember when I lived in America, about the mid 1990s, you'd start to see lots of TV ads in America where men would cry. Or men were not, the whole thing, men have feelings too, I share mine with you, this kind of thing. And I can remember like even watching fishing programs, and a guy would pull a fish out like the Gulf of Mexico, and he'd go, "This is for my dad," and crying. And you'd see loads of like makeover TV shows in America where they'd say, like they'd make over someone's house, and then they'd bring the family in to see it, and the woman would be like, "Oh, it's wonderful, you did a great job." And I increasingly see these American men with the big moustache, and they're like this, going around the rooms looking at it, and the eyes welling with tears. And Bill Clinton used to use all that all the time to try and pretend he was human. You'd get that all, and I was like, where is this all coming from? All of a sudden, every man on every American TV show was crying, even newsreaders, and they had the pie festival in honor of Miss Darcy down at this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? That was the beginning of it. That was the beginning of it. Literally reconstructing the male from the bottom up. And your whole thing is that you have to show that you're a sensitive, kind man, gentle man, or you're a beast and a bully. And now add the soy to that, and now you see the destruction and the annihilation of the male role model within the family, and then this has repercussions upon the children. Teenage girls are always looking for a father figure, or young teenage girls are looking for a strong father figure. And daddy is walking around going, watching a McDonald's commercial. At McDonald's, we care about family. She's going to grow up with all kinds of issues as well. Because there's a sense, if it affects her at a young age, there's every chance the borderline thing will kick in. This might explain the whole borderline explosion. The weak father and the weak, or else the mother who rejects them. And the mother is not a mother. She's the thing has been for a long time now is that your mom is not your mother. She's your friend. So at some conscious levels, you have these young girls growing up with their moms as their friends, their girlfriends. So there's no strong maternal instinct. Fathers watching, fried chicken commercials going with the arpeggio music. So there's no strong father figure. So her internal psyche shatters, and then she grows up to be either borderline, or she wants a woman as a partner. So she'll pick men who are weak as well to emulate the father, And then you have the other side of that. You have the son who is eating nothing but soy in his food, and he's not developing properly. And he still has a voice like this when he's 25. He still talks like this, I still talk. Hi, I'm Chad. I'm 25 years old. I live in Toledo, Ohio. And you hear that all the time. And then the girls have the vocal fry, with the little girl fixation into their 50s. And I'm not putting on Americans. It's happening everywhere now. I'm seeing it here in Ireland with the Soy Boys too. And this is literally scrambling from the subatomic world up. And so we all know, like, you should know you're living in some kind of augmented reality that's created by your consciousness. And whoever gets into the consciousness literally reconstructs your reality all around you from the subatomic particle up. It's like I've been saying for years that every subatomic particle is an opportunity to do a chaos magician. But these people are working in magic too. And they're literally rebuilding, everything from the bottom up and totally up. And so this is why you watch the news every day and you go, what am I watching? Where did this world come from? They're hacked. We talk here about like New Agers and stuff about hacking the matrix and stuff. They're hacking the matrix at an industrial level. Just because you think like that, reality is a dream created, spun out of your consciousness. Just don't believe that they don't know that. They know that. They've known that forever. They've known that more than anyone. And why do you think they created religion? And that's what they've done. That's what they've been doing this forever. And this is this annihilation and of an old reality, and they're doing it. They've all we all hear about the New World Order, order of chaos. When they say order of chaos, that's what they're talking about: the chaos of the subatomic fabric, and then making it an image that serves them. And so, like that's what that actually means. That not chaos like chaos. I mean, like chaos like the subatomic world of of subatomic fabric. That chaos, in just like the chaos magicians do use it, and then the Discordians, and to bring it up into a manifestation, into reality from a literally building it up from clay, from like a kind of like a reality golem. And that's what they're doing. That's what they've always been doing. And they are literally, and they've wanted this for the longest time. But they've used the Rona lockdown now to really drive it home. I mean, the Rona lockdown, and the whole Rona thing, that has been nothing more than a waterboarding exercise upon humanity, because we're literally in planet Gitmo since this lockdown happened. And you'll have noticed that the news stories, like the whole Black Lives thing, this ripping down statues, this what's happening in Ireland, where the Minister for Children, the first order of business is to transgender children. That's his first order of business, is to make sure that kids can become transgender as young as possible. His relationship with Peter Tatchell, it's going on everywhere, not just in Ireland. Except with a place like the United States where Trump is in charge, and that's why you're told he's evil, because he's actually the one. It's true. He's the one who's actually trying to maintain psychic integration for everyone. And he's a lot smarter than people make up. He even does things like deliberately make spelling mistakes on Twitter just to send the NPCs insane. He does that deliberately, I've no doubt about that. And you can see it every so often. He'll spell liar Lier, and you'll see all these lefties going crazy. Yeah, he can't even spell. He's deliberately doing that. That's the art of war, to make your enemies think you're weak, defeated, or destroy the rules of engagement. And then when you in the background, you're building up the weapons using their own world to annihilate them and what they are. Now, you think in terms like of analogy, they don't completely have us, and think of us as the big fish, and they're fishing, and we got away. I'm talking about the ones like our tribe. We got away, and what they're holding is a hook full of dead worms. Now, there's a price to pay for that too on our side, because we're hungry. It's how it works. It's the bait and the catch, the bait and the switch, and so we're hungry, and we're hungry for enlightenment, and we're hungry for a sense of resolving this madness of the world at the moment. I think that's why my videos reach so many people, is because I'm saying, look, hold on, it's going to be okay in the end. Just don't lose focus of what you want it to be, rather than what they're giving it to you, because just as they can build up reality from subatomic particles, you can do the same as well. Remember that. And you're not necessarily exclusively tied into their reality in totality. So you can augment your own reality in order to work around that. But it's literally a destruction of everything. And the whole gender thing, the annihilation of the gender thing, is a major part of it, because robots don't have a gender. It's all, at the end of the day, it's all the transhumanist thing. These utopian psychopaths who want to live, just like I wrote about the utopian psychopath in Puzzling People 10 years ago. The utopian psychopath wants to live in a world of pure nature with only a few robots to serve them, and and they'll keep around a few human sex slaves that or will be like zoo animals to them. We'll be like zoo animals to them. And there's so many elements they need to do. They need to destroy the gender. They need to destroy the family unit. They need to destroy your sense of your national identity, your community, your culture. That all has to be annihilated. And this is why they make, Black Lives Matter is not about helping black people. It's about attacking white. Ironically, Black Lives Matter is about wealthy, aristocratic psychopaths attacking white people, middle class and working class white people, and because they want self hatred. And you see this, like that girl that was shot dead at the BLM rally in Indianapolis, I think it was. To see all these lefties on her Facebook page saying you got what you deserve, and her family reading it, and yet these would be all people with college degrees. Some of them might even be college professors, and this is what we're up against. This is this is, if that doesn't show you we're dealing with pure evil, nothing will. Now I don't know what the full circumstances of what that was, but like if someone I disliked immensely died, the last thing I would do, and I'm talking about personally, forget, I wouldn't even go there if it was like someone I just knew. I wouldn't go on their Facebook page and say, haha, fuck you, you're dead, because out of respect to their family members. But there's so many lowlives out there these days that do that kind of thing, that they do not care. They do not care if they of the collateral damage, and that's again part of the destruction, a part of the mental illness, like this borderline nature that they put into so many people in society, where it's like, if I can't have it, I'll destroy it. This kind of thing, and that's what they want. They want destruction. They want destruction, and this is literally every concept of reality that you've known, even things like nature, like even things like traveling around, where welcome to Planet Gitmo. They're willing to destroy the world's economy to get one step closer to this. And I was, it's like, and they've deliberately made the world's economy so it was going to always be fragile and would need to be destroyed, because ever since the Arab, you see, we think in terms of like months and years. They think in terms of decades and centuries, and they're playing for the long haul, because someone like Bill Gates. He knows his great grandchildren will be players in the system, because of because his aristocratic parents gave him wealth. He made more wealth, gave it to them. They'll make more wealth. So he's playing for his great great grandchildren. With the things he does, he doesn't care. He doesn't care, and a lot of them have a belief that their DNA or their consciousness will be stored somewhere, and they'll be resurrected like a Christ-like figure to come back. They're obsessed with immortality, the post-humanist thing. Because they've never felt human themselves, they don't know what it is to feel like a human. That's why they're altering and changing us. Well, not changing us. I'm not going to change me. I'll still be an asshole that I am the day I die. But that's like, I hope you are too. But yeah, that's not going. The subatomic fabric is there to be worked with, and my God, they're rolling it now. Every single day, you will switch on your Facebook feed or your news feed, and you will see, what the hell is this? And it's not to do with the Rona and the lockdown. It's where that it's to do with the ancillary strategic missions that they're running in tandem with the Rona lockdown. Because you're trying to, the majority of people are so busy trying to survive, and say, see, one of the reasons they they put this weirdo from the Green Party into Minister of Children in Ireland, and also made his first order of business the annihilation of innocence, is because, and the destruction of gender at a very early age, is they knew the Rona lockdown would have a lot of people afraid of coming out and protesting. You see, they're clever bastards. They know they can push all this stuff through, because there won't be any protests, and the Black Lives thing, when they said things like they didn't significantly cause infection, they don't care. All those, they're all, they're still, it's just Trotsky's useful idiots all over again. God knows how many of them went to Black Lives Matter and now got very sick with the Rona and killed their elderly parents and stuff when they got home, and but they don't care. They're useful, just like the typical communist style. They're useful idiots. They're useful idiots. And they've always seen, like I said from Nelson Rockefeller, they've always seen communism as the ideal. Now, on the other side of the thing, you say, well, things are happening. Look at Ghislaine or Ghislaine Maxwell being arrested. I won't see that as being anything incredible until it's something incredible. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh wow, it sounds very tempting. And even these whole things like, oh, she's on suicide watch. This has all been deliberately put out there to make you think these things. It's only when I see big names arrested, and she's not a big name. Only when I see, and a lot of this could be vendettas from what her father did, because these people are criminals and mafia as well. So a lot of this could be a vendetta for what her father ripped off a lot of rich people, not just people in the unions at the newspapers in England and America, but like he also ripped off a lot of rich people as well, and they have their vendettas and their mafias too, and it could be payback for that. I do think there's a lot of evidence to suggest that probably Maxwell was a Mossad honey trap creator, and brought them all to, like, your man. It's turned out your man Juicy Smollett went to Epstein's Island, was probably given young boys from Haiti, brought over by the Clinton Foundation to pleasure himself. Next thing, he's making this obvious low life stupid story about having been attacked by two guys with MAGA hats because he was black and gay, which didn't happen, as a total lie, and easily disproven as a total lie. Now, he did that for two reasons. One, he was told to do that, or they'd release the tapes. Or two, he knows that his ass is in deep shit, and he did it to try and give himself some kind of protection. Being picked on because he's gay and black and French or whatever. These people are operating on very sinister things, and you should be very careful of them. You get, oh, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested. They're gonna bring them all down. I'll believe it when it happens, that kind of thing. I'll believe it when it's happening. I'll believe it when I believe it. Not, these. That's why they give you all things like QAnon and Anonymous and WikiLeaks and all that stuff, and Snowden, to give you all this hope that somehow it's going to change. It's not going to change. Well, it's not going to change the way you want it. It's not going to change the way you want it, but you think it's going to change. That's why. You see, if they put Ghislaine Maxwell up there, you go, great. The elites are going to tumble. Well, that takes you off guard, and instead of working on yourself to survive the worst they have coming, you're then back in the system, saying the system is on my side. You have to be very careful. I, like with Trump, I think Trump is hilarious. I find him amazing, actually. I think in general he is on what we would like him to be. At the same time, too, he's part of the system. I don't think he's an evil man, but I think he's absolutely hilarious. I find the way he affects people is hilarious. The mainstream. And he is a genius in so many levels. He's very, and to me, I like Trump because he's entertaining more than anything else. I don't care about. I'm not right wing or left wing. I don't care about conservative politics. To me, it's just a theatre of the absurd, and to entertain me. That's where I am with all this stuff. Oh, speaking of theatre of the absurd, for some reason, I have an apology to make to people. They were complaining about the ads on here, and I never changed the settings. But I did look, and yeah, YouTube have they must be planning to get rid of me and get as much money as they can out of me before they get rid of my account. But they've just filled my videos up with uh, with ads. So I'm just going to put the ad in the beginning of the ad again, not put the ads in the middle, because I'm not getting any extra. They did this about 2 weeks ago. They sneakily put loads of ads on videos, but I've actually seen a decrease in my revenue from monetization. So it's not, I'm not getting any extra. Not that I ever got any amazing amount of money to begin with off them, but it's like basically it was beer money, and this is this so I'm but it's a handy few quid to have anyway to pay bills and stuff. But yeah, so I have an apology to make those people. Yeah, they did do something to the ads, so they're all over the thing. But I don't know what's going on there. But I'll just put the ad on the beginning and the ad on the end, and then I'll leave them off the middle, because I would leave them if I was making lots of money off them, but I'm making nothing. But well, not nothing. I'm making less than what I was making before they did that. But it just goes to show you, like, they're probably, they're probably now getting ready to, like, let's squeeze a few quid out of him before we get rid of him, this kind of thing. But yeah, what can you do? But you know, there is a fear, but there's also, when David Icke's books have been taken off the bookshelves, his YouTube channel has been banned, and he, along with Alex Jones and so many others, you can say to yourself on one hand, oh, they're really scared the masses will find out about this. I don't know. I don't know. The masses are pathetic. The majority of the masses out there are just pathetic. They're not. David Icke might get 5 million views for a video, and fair fucks to him. But you look on YouTube, there's someone gets 5 million views for looking at what's or 10 million views for looking in his parents' fridge and seeing what's past its sell-by date. Some obnoxious kid going, let's see what we have here. And that'll get 10 million views. So and there's thousands of channels like that. So put that into perspective before you get your hopes up. Again, getting your hopes up is distracting from your own monomyth in terms of you building this for yourself. It's great to observe. It's great to point this stuff out. It's great. It's very interesting to talk about. I totally encourage all those things. But I don't have any hopes in anything exterior to me to make these things wonderful, because they don't care about us. They don't care about anything to it. We're just animals on a farm to them at this point, and always have been ever since. It's like, here's an example of it. The dumb people in the alt scene think this guy Greg Hallett is the real king of England because he's got the Jesus bloodline. Now forget all that bullshit, right? But I got people writing to me saying we can get rid of the royals by getting another royal. They just haven't woken up. They haven't moved on. Occasionally, the best thing they're still saying is satire. Someone took that statue that was taken down in Bristol. Someone put a mannequin of Jimmy Savile up there, and I thought it was genius. That was brilliant, because they were pointing out to the BBC, "Oh, there's a statue you're not uncomfortable about." If the BBC are making everyone uncomfortable about statues, some geniuses in Bristol decided to make the BBC and the establishment uncomfortable about this statue. That's the way to do them. Hold up their filth to their faces. Show them for what they are. And Savile will be a weapon we can use forever, because they lost control with him, and they were too cushy and cozy with him, and he ironically did us a great favor by his pathology, because he allowed us. He'll always exist to allow us as a weapon to attack them with, the British establishment anyway. And so, again, that was a disruption of their ability to rebuild the subatomic fabric from the bottom up. That's your job. And like I said, creativity and things, this is all part of that. That's one of the reasons I was talking about the Christian thing the other day. Christianity is part of the mainstream. It's not going to help you, just like voting. Vote harder. This time we vote harder, we'll get what we want. It's the same thing. Pray harder. It's the same thing. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. All it does is just run. Now, praying might give you comfort, but it doesn't affect reality. The only way to affect reality is like in the Discordian point of view, by making it as absurd as possible. So I would say that Jimmy Savile mannequin that they put on the plinth in Bristol probably did more to disrupt them than anything else has been done. Anything else has been done. Now, I just saw a post in the Irish Times today where the police entered a brothel. It was an S&M brothel, and they found people chained to crucifixes. Now these would be all, and being whipped. These would be all like the Irish establishment and stuff like that. You know, when I heard about the S&M orgy in the brothel, I joked, I posted on the Irish Times page as a laugh. Is this the AGM of the Irish Green Party? And this is how we get them. This is how we get them. You know, you feck them if they can't take a joke, because they can't take a joke, because they don't know this. These psychopathic individuals don't get humor. They're, you know, and they depend on dour and uninteresting people to keep them in business and to keep them going. They don't like zaniness. They don't like the counter absurd. I mean, they're absurd in what they're doing to destroy our sense of reality. We should be counter absurdists in the opposite way. And so that's really important. And so, in closing, you know, yes, it's mental, the news every day. Yes, it's got, you know, since it happened to me tonight, I haven't been in the best of form myself anyway. I just don't feel right. And I just, you know, it's things I normally love to do. I haven't even had the energy or the desire to do them. In fact, I don't want to do them. And I went out to the coast yesterday, and that was nice, just standing there breathing in the sea air. But I was, you know, I was looking out the sea and across the Atlantic, and I was just, there was a castle behind me, and I was just saying, you know, the fuckers are still in charge, you know. And one of the reasons they're in charge, their means of revolution is what they give us. They, you know, never trust them. Never, never use what they've used. They want you to use against them. You know, democracy. I mean, democracy is tyranny by voting. But again, you know, it's just when you see what Trump and Brexit happened, that was a classic jestercraft, chaos magic thing to rattle them. And boy, did it rattle them, you know. But they've used, like I said, they've used the Rona lockdown to get their agendas through, and so Brexit is gone. It doesn't. Your vote didn't matter. Brexit is gone, and they're just going to just continue the status quo and say, new normal. Can't go back to Brexit now. No, ironically, even though Brexit would probably help stop the spread of COVID infection. But this is what we're up against with psychopaths. They're constantly gaslighting you. And that's what gaslighting is, really. And that's, you know, gaslighting is to demolish your sense of reality from the bottom up and to rebuild it. No matter how insane and absurd it is, this is what they do. And that's what's happening right now. The gaslighting is phenomenal going on in every country right now. And it's just to literally take what you know to be true and to sacrifice it on an altar and then give you something that it's not. And just because they're doing that doesn't mean you have to be sacrificed on the altar too. So look after yourselves, and I love you all. And I will sort out that ads thing.